So good morning. This is the EPP Group press conference. At a vote later today, the EPP Group will vote to reject the forest monitoring law. And to explain why we do so, I have with me two EPP Group speakers, Alexander Bernhuber, who negotiates the law in the ENVI committee, and Stefan Köhler, who is doing the same in the AGRI committee. So having said that, I give the speakers the floor. Alex.
Thank you much, dear colleagues, and thank you very much for joining our press conference, and where we might point out our points why we as EPP decided to reject the proposal on forest monitoring. The proposal aims to create an uniform databases for forest policies policy decisions at EU level, and improves transparency and traceability for forest conditions. While these goals sound appealing, the EPP believes that the proposal approaches raising significant concerns. And first, the proposal is inconsistent with the current political priorities. And I think also listening to Manfred Weber in the press conference before and in general talks, we always tell about less bureaucracy, and what is within this proposal from the European Commission in this file is absolutely more bureaucracy. And also it comes to a substantial money needed for member states to do all this kind of documentation. So especially when we take a look to the details, and we know that member states already have in 24 of 27 member states a really good working forest monitoring system, we really question mark why we need it at European level. So we have four key reasons why we are against this proposal and wants to reject them. The first one is on data sovereignty and competence issues. Forest policy in general is a competence of national member states, and with this way it really is against this competence. And as I mentioned it before, there is already a well-working monitoring system in 24 of 27 member states, and these countries who has not a well-working forest monitoring systems, take a look to the map. I think countries like Malta, where there's nearly no forests, don't need that in detail. The second one is over-bureaucracy and costs. Creating a parallel EU system would generate unnecessary bureaucracy and high costs, which without delivering a clear added value. There is a risk of duplication existing national structures, and also with a look to the high costs, and also the European Commission pointed out that this system will create additional costs for member states, which will not be covered from the European Commission. And the third problem is about the doubts about data security and the data uses. Many proposed indicators are significantly questionable or impractical. Satellite data cannot adequately reflect local forest and national specifications. So we see with these indicators that there might be a real double counting. We have national experts who work for really years on good indicators on monitoring the forests, which would be not reflected within the system the European Commission proposed. And the last point is the problematic of the legal basis. We always call on the beginning, when we worked on this file, we would prefer non-binding guidelines, which could be used for member states to guide through together collecting of data, but this was not supported from other political groups. So we called for rejection on the vote in the AGRI committee, which is a shared competence, and this vote was supported with a really big majority, with 80 votes in favor and only 46 votes against. So now we will propose also to vote in favor of the rejection amendment. Today we have full support within our group, and so I think there is a big chance that this file will be not adopted today, and also I think we will send out a clear message to the European Commission to withdraw this proposal. So now I can hand over to my colleague Stefan Köhler.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Also a wonderful good morning from my side. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, we have a historic chance today. As members of the European Parliament, we have it in our hands to end the era Timmermans once and for all. Era Timmermans, that means far-reaching regulations such as forest monitoring, prescriptive rules and red tape, unclear practical implications and costs for taxpayers and economic players alike. We do not want or need this. Most EU member states are already doing a great job monitoring their forests. The ones that don't could receive targeted support. Of course, there is a merit in harmonization of these systems. We as EPP are not against a better knowledge base and foresight capabilities to fight climate change and aid biodiversity. It is already happening. There are several monitoring efforts across the EU already. The Forest Europe, the ENVI, the EFFIS, the ICP Forest. Why not support in a targeted way? Forest is a competence of the member states, as Alexander said. I want to point out, EPP has never left the negotiation table. We were constructive and clear. But EPP stands strong and united in our position. We want better regulation, not more regulation. We want 25% less bureaucracy. We need to be strict and should not hesitate to stop entire proposals. We promised our voters less bureaucracy, and we delivered. Thank you to Alexander Bernhuber for the very good cooperation, and thanks to our technical teams for their hard work. We will reject the forest monitoring law. The legacy of Commissioner Timmermans is over. Thank you.
Okay, so we move to questions. There is interpretation in Spanish, French, Italian, German, Polish, and English. Who has the question? There seem to be no questions in the room. Maybe online there is somebody I'm checking. Neither online. Well, then this ends very quickly. The speakers were efficient. So thank you for paying attention to us.